that again. And that's kind of why I've not really ventured into the paranormal that much. And I have an opportunity. I have a big fascination with it.
Right.
I know Bigfoot's not going to follow me home, you know?
Well, except to get something to eat.
Exactly. So, uh, and I've really thought about doing more paranormal. I know a lot of paranormal places in the woods, but there's just hesitation. It's not time yet for that. So I follow my instincts.
Absolutely. Well, you come across abandoned locations like cemeteries and homesteads and everything else while you're out there, right?
Oh yeah. Well, let me tell you a story that happened to me 2 months ago. I was in a little canyon way above Chiha,
Mm-hmm.
and there's forest cover, and so I was in this place, and there was a Bigfoot sighting, and I was walking down, just trying to get it to peek up at me. You look over the ridge or something,
Right.
and I'm walking, and I look up on the right side of this ridge, and there's a house up there, and I'm thinking, now there's not supposed to be any houses in here or anything. So I realized what was happening. I'm filming myself, and I'm saying, okay, I see this house up here, and I said I'm gonna see what's going on. So I turn the camera off, and I'm sitting there, and I look, and it's there, and I got a little freaked out because I'm thinking it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There is nothing there. So I sit down and drink a bottle of water and look up, and the house is there. So I say, well, I'm going to climb up there and see what's up with this house. Put my backpack on, look up, and it's gone. There is nothing up there, nothing. And it was an 1880s type house with the wood slats for the siding. And I'm like, oh crap, what has just happened to me? And I'm kind of freaking out. So I climbed the ridge, 1,000 feet, and it was rough terrain. Get there, get to the top. There is nothing there. There's no foundations. There's no root cellars. Pull my satellite phone up, pull an overhead view of where I am. It's cloud cover. And I'm thinking, okay, I still don't know exactly what happened. So I went home, went to the Cal Topo line, and you can pull back the 1880 topo maps to 1890 topo maps to 1900s to 1920s and 1940s. And I look at this one area, and there's never been a house there, ever. Never once.
Oh, wow.
Even went to land deeds, nothing there. So what I think I've seen is my first ghost house, or if it's not a ghost house, it's maybe a time slip.
Right.
And it really freaked me out that day because it's the first time that's ever happened to me. And I mean, I still don't know. I've went back there in the exact spot. There's nothing there. There's nothing was ever there. It's rocky outcroppings. And so it's just the woods. I don't think enough people really go into the woods to realize that, mysterious things happen in the woods just like houses. That was a prime example of what the heck happened. What did I see? Did I see a time slip? I mean, I still don't know it to this day what I saw. I know I saw the house, and I actually sketched it out, So
That's so freaky.
it
Yeah.
is,
When I was in school, everybody that I hung out with were outdoorsmen for the most part.
Yeah.
And so, we're part of the reason that you can't camp out at Lake Purdy, sadly.
Yeah.
That was not my fault. But it's just a weird thing because when I'm in the woods, I'm generally okay. As long as I have on something, high on my feet and
Right.
there's nothing slithering around me because I am so Indiana Jones when it comes to snakes. But
Yeah.
do you, and we only have a couple of seconds before we go to break, but when we come back, I want to talk about like lost time experiences, like experiencing a time slip like that. Brenda is in chat and she actually offered the possibility of a parallel universe that, like in a string theory scenario where something just pops.
Right.
Which is kind of a time slip, but it's more of a dimensional thing. And with that being said, We are going to be back in 3 minutes. Y'all enjoy.
You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
I had a lot of confusion when I went to where the cemetery was. I was confused. I was actually lost for like 20 or 30 minutes. And when I come out of the woods, my wife was like, "Where have you been?" And I was like, "Well, I was only in there an hour because I keep a timestamp of pretty much where I'm going." And she says, "No, you've been gone for 3 hours. There's no way." It actually caused me a lot of problems because she didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know that I had lost that time. When I got back home, I reviewed some of my footage, and you can see this creature in my footage that almost looks like a deer head with antlers standing on the bank. At first, I thought it was a dogman, but it was not a dog. It wasn't a dogman or anything else. I don't know what it was, but I experienced a lot of missing time there. I love Luminox watches, and for a Luminox watch, and while I was filming all this, you could see the look of concern on my face, and it's on my YouTube channel. And I was very confused. My camera had a time. My GPS, my phone, not my GPS, my phone had a time, and my watch had a time. But when I come out of the woods, they were all three just totally out of whack.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was very, very odd, and it actually scared me. That's really when I got a satellite phone, because something happened in that one little area that I still don't really know what. So yes, I have experienced a missing time in the woods like that. And also, there's been many times in the woods that I have seen a shimmering, like a box, like a shimmering box. It's almost like a TV. And it's in the woods.
I saw that when you were down by a creek, right?
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
that
Yes,
was
ma'am.
bizarre.
Yes, ma'am.
Please share that because
Yeah.
that's an experience and a half.
Yeah, and so I don't know if it's connected with the missing time or whatever. So I've seen it a lot. I've seen it enough, 40 or 50 times, that I do not to go toward it. So a couple of years ago, I asked one of the rangers, I said, hey, let me ask you if you've ever seen this. And I asked the Forest Service workers this too. I said, have you ever seen this weird shimmering in the woods? And they're like, yeah, we've seen it. Just be careful around it. The rangers told me this.
Wow.
And I was like, what do you mean? And they were like, well, just be careful. It would not say anymore. So I asked the Forest Service workers. The Forest Service workers basically grade the roads. They maintain the trails. And they even told me, yeah, they've seen it. But whenever they've seen it, they've got out of the area. Now, I have a friend that has a mapping business. He maps properties from the air, from an airplane. And I asked him, I said, do y'all ever have instances when you're flying your plane, you're mapping these certain areas from the municipalities, wherever, do you ever have anomalies pick up in where you're at, wherever it's at, whether it's rural or, city, where you have odd things happen? And he says, yes, yeah, we have them all the time. And I told him what I experienced and kind of talked about the shimmering, and he has actually flew over some of the places I've given the GPS coordinates and looked at them, and they have these weird anomalies. Not all the time, but just if you could figure out when they happen, you would know. But it's just, so is that something connected with time slips? Maybe. Maybe it's like a geothermic anomaly. I don't know. I mean, but I've seen it enough that I want to stay away from it because I'm afraid of it. It's not a ghost. It's just a weird, I don't know what it is,
Well, it sounds like, if the rangers and forest workers are tripping on it and you're tripping on it because you don't do that.
Yeah.
Right. You are respectful but fairly fearless. And for it to create that reaction in you, I don't know them, but I know enough about you to think, well, that is an interesting reaction from him. And then to get it from rangers as well is just odd, because when I was watching the videos that you have of this, that was my reaction too, is, oh no, just no.
Yeah.
That's not something that's friendly. And but it's beautiful.
Oh,
it's like something from Star Trek, right? There was
an
an episode that had something like that, and that's what it looks like, and that's what it feels like too, like it would just suck you in or something. Right,
yeah. And I've had people suggest throw something in it, but I'm like, no, I don't want to get nowhere near it.
Well, I don't want to piss it off, right?
Well,
what if that made it mad?
Yeah, exactly. Whatever it is, because I don't know. You can see it, but you can't. I wouldn't know if it was the trailing edge. I just and I have actually sit and stare at it for like 15 minutes, just watching it to see if it moved left or right, up and down, and it never would. And I've watched it. I've watched them to the point where they've been there and then they just poop like you cut a light off and they're gone. And then I'm like, oh crap. And then I wonder if I ever walked through one, not knowing, it does create a lot of things in your mind, So it's just to chalk it up to another odd experience in the woods,
Well, there's so many, right?
Oh yeah.
And what is, other than that, because that's got to be right up there with the most, but what else have you run into other than snakes and boar and stuff like that? What else have you come across that was anomalous, that just really flipped your lid, made you go, what am I doing here? Oh
yeah, there is a certain forest road that me and Bill and John, my guys that go with me a lot of times, that I'm pretty sure this road, it's a Forest Service road.